I'm specifically from Chicago though, right? So I'm here to explain to you the dichotomy of two cultures, right? So which two cultures, you might ask? Well, obviously Nepalese and American culture. So what is a dichotomy, you might ask? Well, at first I didn't actually know what it was either, so I looked it up, and apparently it's like the differences between two. So the best way I'm going to explain it for you here is take a tree, right? And let's say you have two branches. On this side, right, you have Nepalese culture, and on this side you have American culture. Now, what do branches on a tree actually do? They make leaves, right? They all have the same basic function to make leaves, right? So basically, what these two cultures are doing, they're both stemming from the same thing. They both want to have groups who can identify themselves as someone, if that makes sense. They want to have their own unique identity. That's what cultures are meant to do. So what these two cultures are doing is they have their own unique identity, but they're coming in two different directions. So Nepalese culture is trying to do it this way, and then American culture is trying to do it this way. Now, how are they different? Where's the dichotomy in this, right? Where's the differences in here? Well, in Nepalese culture, we have how many gods? Does anyone know? We have one main god though. Does anyone want to tell me what it is? It's called mom and dad. Right there. I'm telling you right now. Your mom and dad are really important in Nepalese culture. Whatever they say, you don't have to always listen to it, but you do have to take it in respect. What they say has to be accounted for in their eyes. But then here in American culture, it's all freedom, independence. I can do this all by myself. I can walk around wherever I want to go. I can look around whatever I want to look at. No one can really say anything. I'm doing my own thing. So from here you have Nepalese culture and American culture. Now take let's say a branch from the Nepalese culture grew and it moved over to the American culture territory. That's what being an American Nepalese or Nepalese American is like. You are from here where your parents are trying to tell you how to do everything, how to live your life, and then all your friends are over here doing their own thing. And you want to do your own thing. Everyone likes the idea of independence. Everyone wants to do their own thing. They want to have their own ideas, their own, they want to have their own opinions. But in Nepalese culture, sometimes you don't really get that. If it's not clear, let me give you a story. So, I'm about this tall, right? When I was 6, I was about this tall. So, when I was 6 years old, my mom would not let me cross the road by myself. Even if there was a traffic light, she'd be like, "You can't cross the road by yourself. I'm afraid if you're gonna get by a car." I said, "Okay, Mom, that's fine. I won't do it." She did that until I was 10. So I was holding my mom's hand until I was 10 years old to cross the street, even though I was in 4th grade. All my friends laughed at me. But this one specific time, there was a park 2 minutes away, and I said, "Mom, can I just cross the road? Can I just go over to the park, come back?" And she said, "Okay, you can't do that." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because what if you get hurt?" And I was like, "But Mom, all my friends are doing it. They all got bikes. They all got safety helmets. I can wear a safety helmet if you want. I'll wear 3 if you want." She said, "No, you can't." And I said, "Please, Mom, please, please." And she said, "If anything happens to you, what am I supposed to do? You're all alone." And I said, and then I cried like a little 6-year-old and I ran away. But now that I think about it, now that I'm older, now that I'm 16, I'm like, you made sense, Mom. You got a good idea there. Because my mom used to work a lot. So working and then having to take a kid to a park, that's a lot of work. Then coming back home, cooking. So now I understand how it felt for my mom. But back then when I was 6, I didn't understand at all. But from there, what I want to say is even though these two branches are branching out in their own direction, they all want to do the same thing, right? So the one thing they both really enforce that I really like is Nepalese culture likes to enforce hard work. You earn a lot for doing hard work. And in American culture, well, America is based off capitalism. So the harder you work, the more you get paid. That's how it works. The smarter you are. So that's what I like about both of these things. When you're a Nepalese American and your parents force you to work, or not force, sorry. They tell you to work, they both are enforcing the same ideas, and I think that every Nepalese American can be successful. Every Nepalese American can find a stable job because of that background from the Nepalese side, and then this whole system of capitalism. But here comes the next question. I want to ask all you Nepalese Americans here, how big is your social life? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you? Would anyone like to? Yeah, you, little girl. 5?
8.
That's way more than mine. I'll tell you guys, I probably never left the house until I was 12. Honestly, that's probably why I didn't go to the park a lot when I was like 6. But social life is needed in an American society because everyone, this whole idea of freedom, it's fun. And then when you have, okay, so the whole idea of freedom is fun. And then once the whole idea of freedom comes up, you're like, okay, I want to be free. I want to be independent. I want to walk around. I want to do what I want to do. I want to hang out with the friends I want to hang out with. I want to have fun with them. So if your friends are off playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, what do you want to do? You want to go off and play Yu-Gi-Oh cards. If all my friends were at the park when I was 6, I wanted to be at the park with them. It's being social. It's fun. It's a new experience. You meet new people. You have fun with new people. You always enjoy being social, right? I mean, sometimes there's up and downs, but having a social life always, 100% of the time, leads to some sort of drama. So when I was first starting to hang out with people, having a social life, I remember getting into arguments with my mom and dad. And believe me not, there have been some terrible arguments. So even if you haven't gone through it yet, you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens. You guys have to understand that your parents, the way you work it is you have to compromise. That's how it works. You can't just be like, Mom and Dad, I'm going to hang out for like 8 hours. This is America. This is freedom. You can't do that, right? Because they're Nepalese. They're like, no, you have to be back by 6 o'clock. And if you're not back by 6 o'clock, you are in trouble. And I will yell at you in many different languages. And I will shout at you. I will possibly break a window. I will possibly break a window. And so when that happens, when it comes to the point that someone breaks a window, it's not fun. But ultimately, what you have to realize is everything works in compromise. So I talk about the dichotomy of these two different cultures and how they're all really different. But in the end, I feel like everything can work with compromise. I've worked out everything with my parents through compromise. I've figured everything out. I have no more drama with my parents. I am so drama-free. But you have to compromise with them. So as an ending note to everyone here, I'd like you all to know that if you are ever in any sort of trouble, you can use compromise to fix everything. And I feel like this Nepalese American tradition, it can survive if we learn to compromise.